What's up, everybody? This is Matt Hines. This is the Exercise Science and Culture Show. Coming at you a little early today, but I want to talk about motivation for exercise. Motivation to exercise. What is your motivation to exercise? What is it? Why do we do it? I have an interesting take on this, or maybe it's a slightly different take, perhaps, that I want to throw out there. I want to talk about this. So this Lawrence Kohlberg's theory of moral development is something that I look at and I think can be applied to understanding the nature of motivation to exercise, the nature to motivate to do anything, really. But what does he say about this? Well, so he puts things into stages. There's 6 stages that can be generally grouped into 3 levels: pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. What does that even mean? So at level 1, okay, you have obedience and punishment orientation. So you're motivated to avoid punishment. I guess there's a level 0 as well. The level 0 is that you just don't care about really yourself or other people, or doing anything at all. But when you come around to, okay, I want to do something positive, I want to exercise, why am I going to do that? Well, I don't want to have something bad happen to me. I don't want to get in trouble. From there, you advance, and it's more of a self-interested motivation. So you would ask yourself, what's in it for me? And you're going to be looking to pay for some benefit, and you're needing to get paid for the benefit. You need to see that you're going to be getting some reward. Then you go on to level 3, and this is more related to interpersonal interactions and conformity. And let me take a step back. Let me just first, before I say anything else, let me say this. When you were answering that question, what motivates you? I know there's a bunch of different answers that people may have, and I don't want to discredit any reason that you may have. And I don't want to judge you. I don't necessarily think that you should judge yourself. But I just want this, I want us to consider this. Okay, so going back to Lawrence Kohlberg's stages of moral development. And at level 3, you're at the stage where you're doing things because they're socially normal. You want to be seen as a good person, a decent person, and you want to sort of, well, you want to do what other people are doing. At level 4, and maybe these are interchangeable, but level 4 is having an attention on being motivated by a sense of law and order, that you're maintaining social order and you're respecting authority. And what does that mean for exercise? Let me show you how I've adopted this to exercise in just a moment. But moving on to level 5, there's a social contract orientation. So you care about society. And at what level you're looking at this, I don't know, but where you're doing something because you care about not only yourself, but how it's affecting your family, say, or your community, or your country. And now level 6, there's the universal ethical principles orientation, where, and let me just read what they say about stage 6. Your moral reasoning is based on abstract reasoning using universal ethic principles. Laws are valid only insofar as they are grounded in justice, and a commitment to justice carries with it an obligation to disobey unjust laws. Okay, so like I said, how does this fit into exercise? So here's something that I've written about how this can be adopted. It's loosely related to Kohlberg's theory. So at the lowest level, there is no motivation to exercise. You just don't want to do it, not interested. You're not going to do it. But if somehow you can make the change to wanting to exercise, at the very first level, it may be that you're exercising out of fear. You want to avoid the negative ramifications of being sedentary. And then maybe at level 2, you will be motivated. Again, this is the self-interested type of motivation. You're exercising for me time, and it's really exclusively, you're doing it for your own personal benefit. And then moving on from there, this is more of the social norms aspect of it. So you're doing it because all of your friends are doing it, or because it's a popular thing to do, and you're doing it to fit in. Moving on from there, like I said, I think these two are kind of like not necessarily one higher than the other, but the other way to think of it at this level is that you're motivated by authority figures. You're doing this because doctors and researchers and trainers say it's good for you to exercise. So then beyond that, you're going to be exercising. You're going to develop a sense of community around your exercising. And you'll feel that you're motivated by others, and you are, and by the way, you're motivated by them. You're not envious of them, but you're genuinely motivated by what they are doing, and you want to join. And not necessarily that you need to join a class, or, I mean, you can still do this on your own, but the fact at this stage, you're going to be able to see what other people are doing and really feel appreciation for it, and not feel bitterness and jealousy. And then from there, you are, and maybe these are interchangeable as well, but also at this level, you're motivated by a drive to fulfill your own potential. You want to reach your potential. That's why you're doing it. But beyond that, the highest level motivation for exercise, when you get to the point when you are exercising just because you love to do it, just brings you joy, then that is the ultimate. And I think that's where we all want to be. You do it because you love it. And then when you get to that point, and when you're doing something that you really love, you're not going to think about it anymore. It's just going to be your lifestyle. And that's both an indication of, the last one, doing exercise because you love it. Well, that's obviously the highest type of, that's the strongest bond that you can have with exercise. That's the highest level of motivation that you can achieve. And it's going to be, it's going to be the strongest bond. It's going to be unbreakable. When you love doing something, you're going to shape your life around it. So you're not going to have any barriers. And we will always have barriers, but those are going to be a lot easier to break down when you have something that you really love to do that is also satisfying your physiological, the minimum amount of exercise that you ought to be getting for health. And as you go lower, those lower level motivators, well, barriers are going to be a little more difficult there's going to be more barriers and they're going to be more difficult to navigate if you don't have if you're doing it for a reason that's not really that strong of a motivator. And again, I want to be careful with my words because I don't want to criticize anybody for why they want to exercise. But I will be frank about one common thing. In our culture, how many of you guys exercise because you want to look good naked? Well, I think we all do. But if that's it for you, if that's the only reason you're doing it, I don't know. I guess sex is a pretty big motivator. So, yeah. But I think it's also easy to break. And if you're not having a good time, if you have a couple of bad experiences, then it can be really devastating. Whereas if you have a couple of bad times in a row exercising, doing something that you love, you're not going to stop because you love it. You remember what it was like when you loved it. And so you're going to keep going for it. It's not going to stop you. If you're only doing it because you want to look good, if you're a woman and you want to be skinny, if you're a man and you want to be jacked, or vice versa, anywhere in between, if that's all you're doing it for, it may just not be as strong of a motivator, and you may not even like it as much. It might not be quite as fun for you. So this is a tough topic. This is a complicated idea. And there's a lot of different ways that you could look at this. And I don't know if I quite did this justice, but just understanding that this idea of having strong motivating factors and motivating factors that may not be as strong. And if you can get up to that point where you are doing something that you love, then you might have to experiment with different things. But if you can get to that level, your motivation is going to be impenetrable. Well, that's it for today. Thank you to Ned and Jonathan for tuning in. And leave me a comment if you have any questions. And I hope you all have a great week.